Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Today we are going to start May-June 2023 paper 1-2. Let's start with question number 1. A sample of iodine is at room temperature and pressure. Which statement about the particles in the sample is correct? Okay, we know that iodine at room temperature and pressure is going to be solid. So the particles are arranged in a giant lattice. No, we know that iodine is a simple molecular substance, right? Okay. Yeah, good, Amal and Zainab. So A goes wrong. The particles have zero kinetic energy. No, it's not possible. They must have some kinetic energy. The particles move randomly through the solid. Not at all. So C goes wrong. The particles vibrate about a fixed position. Yes. So D is the correct answer. Now, question number 2. Element Z, nucleon number 31 forms the anion with Z3 negative. So it means that Z is gaining 3 electrons and forming Z3 negative, and its nucleon number is 31, right? Which means sum of protons and neutrons. Where Z is found in the periodic table. So if it's gaining 3 electron, yeah, Namal. So it means that it is in group 5, right? So that is the correct one. So A, C, and D are wrong, and B is the correct answer. Okay. Now question number 3. Naturally occurring bromine has a relative atomic mass of 80 and consists entirely of two isotopes of relative atomic masses of 79 and 81. Okay. So it means they are saying it's the AR of bromine, right? And there are two bromines. One is bromine 79 and the other one is bromine 81. What can we deduce about the naturally occurring bromine from this information only? Bromine contains the two isotopes in equal proportion. Obviously, if you take their mean, so 79 plus 81 divided by 2, you got 80. So see, it is only possible when both are in equal proportion. So that is correct. Bromine has a different oxidation states. Bromine isotope have a different number of protons, not at all. Not if there are isotopes, so their proton number is always same. Bromine is radioactive, no. So A is the correct answer. Now question number 4. Element X and element Y react together to form a compound. The electronic configuration of X and Y are X is 283 and Y is 26. Okay, which row shows the electron transfer takes place and the type of compound formed. Okay, so element X has a 3 electrons in the valence shell, so it is going to lose 3 electrons, and it has a 6 electrons in its outer shell. So it means it has a 6 electrons, so it is going to gain electrons. Is this understandable? So if you see, it is going to lose 3 electrons. So it is going to have a 3 positive charge and Y must have a 2 negative charge. So when we make the formula, it is going to be X2, Y3. So two atoms, each loses 3 electrons, each loses 3 electrons. So these two are correct. Each receives 3 electrons wrong. Each receives 3 electrons wrong. So C and D are wrong. Now, 3 atoms each receive 2 electrons. 3 atoms each receive 2 electrons. Both are correct. Covalent, no. See, when loss and gain of electron are occurring, so it's not covalent. It is going to be ionic. So B is the correct answer. Yeah. Is this understandable to all of you? Now, question number 5. Which molecule has the largest number of electrons involved in the covalent bonding? Okay. So if you see, let me draw each one C2H4. So it is going to be like this. So how many bonds you are seeing? 6 bonds. 6 bonds means 12 electrons are involved in the bonding. In carbon dioxide, it is like this. So there are 4 bonds, which means 8 electrons are involved in the bonding. CH3OH. So if you see count 3, 4, 5, 5 bonds, which means 10 electrons are involved in the bonding. A triple covalent bond, which means 6 electrons are involved in the bonding. So the most number of electrons are C2H4A. So A is the correct answer. Now question number 6. X is the arrangement of bonds around a carbon atom in a graphite. Y is the arrangement of bonds around carbon atom in the diamond. Okay. Z is the arrangement of bonds around the silicon atom. Which arrangements of bonds are the same? So we know Y and Z has the same arrangement and X is different, right? So Y and Z only, Y and Z only. This one is correct. So A, B, and D goes wrong, and C is your correct answer. Is this clear? Now question number 7. What is the equation for the reaction between sodium carbonate and dilute nitric acid? See, a metal carbonate and a nitric acid. So sodium carbonate and nitric acid are going to give you salt, carbon dioxide, and water. So carbonate, there is a sodium carbonate, it's Na2CO3 and it's a nitric acid. Okay. So nitric acid is HNO3. So here H2NO3 makes A and C goes wrong. Now we are left with B and C. So if you see there are two sodium atoms and here C, the formula of sodium carbonate is wrong. So B goes wrong as well. So there is no need to look at all the equation because we got 3 options wrong. So obviously the fourth one is correct. D. Yes. Question number. Which statement about relative atomic mass and relative molecular mass are correct? Okay. The mass of the different isotopes does not affect atomic mass. No, it affects the relative atomic mass. So one goes wrong. And if you see, one goes wrong. So one is present in A, B, and D, all three. So A, B, and D is wrong. So we are left with the only C. So C is correct. Is this clear to all of you? Yes, because all the other options have one. That's why. Okay. Uh, you guys just give me. Just give me 5. Okay, just give me 5 minutes. I need 5 minutes. Just in a 5 minutes, I will be back, okay? So we were on question number 9 now. Okay. So aqueous hydrogen peroxide decomposes slowly at 25 degrees Celsius, and this is the equation. The decomposition reaction takes place when faster when a catalyst is added. The student adds a small amount of a catalyst to 10 centimeter cube. That is the volume and 1.0 mole per dm cube concentration of H2O2 and collects the gas formed. The volume of gas collected is 90 centimeter cube. Okay, so this is the volume of a gas. All measurements are at room temperature and pressure. What is the percentage yield of oxygen? Okay, so we have to first turn these into moles. So if I turn it into moles, it is going to be 1.0 times 10 divided by 1000, right? So what moles I am getting? It's going to be 10 over, I'm going to get 0.01 moles. Is it? Yes. Okay. Now, if you take the ratio, it's 2:1. So if I am getting 0.01 moles, then if I take the ratio between H2O2 and oxygen, it is 2:1. So if I'm getting 0.01 moles, then these moles would be X. And if you calculate the value of X, you are going to get 0.005. moles of oxygen, right? Now, if I have to find the volume of oxygen which must be formed, that is 0.005, it's 90 centimeter cube, right? So I'm multiply it with 24,000. So 0.005 times 24,000. Can anyone tell me the answer? And it is the practical yield, right? Or practical value. Now I'm going to find the theoretical value. Yes. If I multiply 0.005 by 24,000, can anyone tell me the answer, please? It's 120, right? So 120 centimeter cube, it's the theoretical value or theoretical yield. So percentage yield is equals to practical value 90 over theoretical value 120 times 100. So can anyone calculate it and tell me the answer, please? We are converting it into a volume. And see, this volume is in centimeter cube, Amal. So we have to find the volume in centimeter cube. That's why we multiplied it with 24,000. So it's 75%, right? So it means B, C, and A are wrong, and D is your correct answer. Okay. Now question number 10. The diagram shows the structure of atoms of two elements X and Z. X and Z are not the atomic symbols. Okay. The elements combines to form a compound. What is the mass of 1 mole of this compound? Okay. If you see, it has a 1 electron and it has a 6 electron. So it means when X forms ions, it is going to form ion with the +1 charge. And when Z forms ion, it is going to form ion with the 2- charge. Is this understandable? So if I work on the formula of the compound, so isn't it going to be X2Z, right? So if you see the protons and neutrons, 3 plus 4 gives me 7 and 8 plus 8 gives me 16. So if I calculate its mass, so 7 plus 7, because there are two atoms of X, plus 16. So 7 plus 7 is 14 and 14 plus 16 is 30. So 30 is my correct answer, which means C, B, and A goes wrong and D is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 11. Which compound contains 45.2% of nitrogen by mass? Okay, so you have to calculate the percentage of nitrogen in all of them. If you look at the first one, there are 2 nitrogens. So which means 28. So 28 divided by the MR of the whole compound, which is 28. Okay, 1 minute. So if you add 14 plus 2 plus 24 plus 4 plus 14 plus 2. So what MR you get? 28, 28 and 2, 30, 30 and 24, 54, 54, 58, 60. Is it 60? Calculate the percentage. Over here, 1 nitrogen, so 14 divided by 14 plus 16, 30, 30 plus 3, 33. Multiply by 100, you will get the percentage of this one. Can anyone calculate the percentage in the sequence? So 14 over 30, 30 plus 12, 42, 42 plus 3, 45 times 100. And over here, 14. And carbon is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, and 14, 31. Okay, A is 46.6. B is 42.4. Okay. Okay, Amal. Okay, Ammar. What about C and D? So everyone is saying that C in D we are getting 45.2%, C is 31.1%. So these three goes wrong and D is the correct answer. Now, question number 12. Aqueous copper 2 sulfate is electrolyzed using copper electrodes. The current is constant and the anode is weighed at the regular time interval, which graph is obtained when the mass of anode is plotted against time. So anode itself has some mass. Okay, using copper, the current is constant. The anode is weighed at a regular time intervals, which graph is obtained when the mass of anode is plotted against. So anode obviously has some mass. Yes, Amal, very good. And anode is where the oxidation occurs. So anode dissolves. Anode starts to dissolve, right? Because anode is of copper F. So at anode, this reaction would occur that solid copper turns into aqueous ions by losing its electrons. So its mass, it means it is going to lose. So it means this is going to be correct. So A, B, and D goes wrong and C is the correct answer. Yes, very good, Ahmad Mustafa. Very good, Zainab. Very good, Amal. Yes, Ammar, did you understand? Okay. Now question number 13. What is the chemical product of a hydrogen oxygen fuel cell? So I think everyone knows water only. And A, B, and C goes wrong. Now question number 14. Hydrogen can be produced by reacting methane with steam. Use the bond energies in the table. What is the enthalpy change of the reaction? So if you recall, I have told you the formula of enthalpy change is the bond energies involved in bond breaking minus bond energies involved in bond making, right? So first make the equation into the bonds. So there are four carbon hydrogen bonds. So it means I'm going to make it times 4. Then there are 2 moles of water, right? So it means there are 4 OH bonds. So I have to make it times 4 as well. Then there is carbon oxygen double bond and there are 2 carbon oxygen double bonds. So I have to make it times 2. And if you see there are 4 moles of hydrogen. So it means 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to make it times 4 as well. Okay, if I do it like this, so I think it's more understandable. Now you can see there are 4 OH bonds. So see, these two are for bond breaking and these two are the bonds for bond making. Now let's put the values in the expression. So delta H is equals to bond breaking means 4 times 435 plus 4 times 463, right? Minus 4 times 436 plus 2 times 805. Can anyone calculate and tell me the answer, please? Okay, it is positive 238. So if it's positive 238, which makes C correct. So A, B, and D goes wrong, and C is the correct answer. Is this understandable to all of you? If any one of you has any confusion, you can ask. Now, question number 15. What is the best way of slowing down the reaction between magnesium and sulfuric acid? Adding a catalyst, not at all. It speeds up the reaction. Diluting the acid, yes, it can. Stirring the reagent on stirring, they react more rapidly, so C goes wrong. Using a magnesium powder, obviously surface area is increased, so it also increases the rate of reaction. So only B is the correct answer. Yes, very good. Very good, Yusuf, Ahmed, and Muhammad Ammar. Good. Now, question number 16. The volume of gas produced by the reaction of 100 centimeter cube of hydrochloric acid, that is the volume with an excess of calcium carbonate measured in 2 experiments. Okay. The volume of the gas is measured at RTP and the results are shown. Time. Okay. If you see in the second experiment, we are getting the more volume of a gas. Okay. Which one change in the condition to experiment 1 gives the result for experiment 2? So see here, the rate is the rate of reaction is faster. Okay. And if you see here, the reaction is not completed, but here the reaction is completed over here. Reaction ended. And here reaction is not ended over here till. Assume all the other conditions are unchanged. A greater volume of acid is added. No, because it doesn't make any sense. If the greater volume is added, then there would be no change in the rate, right? So A goes wrong. A higher concentration can increase the rate of the reaction, and we are observing this. Smaller pieces of calcium carbonate are used. No, it cannot be because they didn't mention initially that it's the solid, a lump or a small pieces. A temperature of the acid is higher. No, because there is a one other thing that if you see the total amount is also okay. Sorry, my bad. The reaction is ended over here in both the cases. So see, we are getting the more volume. So it means more hydrochloric acid has been used and at a higher concentration. If we use a higher concentration with the same volume, there would be more moles. So D goes wrong and B is the correct answer. Now question number 17. Hydrogen is made industrially by the reaction shown. Statement about this industrial process are given. Okay, this is a reversible reaction if you see. A higher pressure can use to increase the rate of formation of hydrogen. No, because both, yeah, the rate of reaction, the rate can be increased. Yes, rate can be increased. Not the equilibrium would not shift to any place, but rate would be increased. So one is correct. A higher pressure can be used to shift the equilibrium to the right. No, not at all, because both sides have the equal number of moles. So it means these two has two, so A and D goes wrong. A higher temperature can be used to increase the rate. Yes, very good. It can use to increase the rate. So I think C goes wrong and B is the correct answer. Now, question number 18. The table refers to two important industrial gases, Schiess reactions. Okay. In the reaction one, hydrogen and nitrogen reacts to form ammonia, and a nickel catalyst is used. In reaction two, oxygen and sulfur dioxide reacts. Okay. Which catalysts are correctly used? Okay. In reaction one, the catalyst is not correct. It's iron, right? And in reaction two, the catalyst is used correctly. So it means this one is the correct one. So A, C, and D goes wrong. And B is the correct answer. Is this clear? Now question number 19. Iron 2 ions react with the chlorine. Okay. Which statement about this reaction is correct? Chlorine is reduced by iron 2 ions. If you see here, it's -1 and it's +1. Yeah, it can be a correct one. Chlorine is the reducing agent. It is being reduced, so it means chlorine is the oxidizing agent. So saying it as a reducing agent makes it wrong. Iron 2 ions are reduced by chlorine. No, iron 2 are oxidized by chlorine because it's changing from +2 to +3. So C goes wrong. So iron 2 ions are oxidizing agent. No, wrong, because if they are being oxidized, so must be reducing agent. So D goes wrong. So we are left with only option A. So option A is correct. Okay. Now question number 20. Which reagent rate observation describe the test for a reducing agent? Okay. Yeah. For reducing agent, we don't use potassium iodide to test. So C and D goes wrong. And the color change would be not colorless to purple. So A goes wrong. It's from purple to colorless. So B is correct. Very good, Ammar. Very good, Zainab. Very good, Yusuf. Okay. Now, question number 21. Compound X is a gas at room temperature. X dissolves in water to give a solution with pH of 4. Okay. Which statement about compound X is correct? X is a gas. Okay, so it means it's an acidic gas. So if it's an acidic gas, it means it's a non-metal oxide, because non-metal oxides are normally acidic, right? An aqueous solution of X will not conduct electricity. No, it has a pH 4, so it will conduct electricity. So A is wrong. Atoms of metallic elements are no, not at all, because it's an acidic. Atoms of hydrogen are yeah, it is possible. X is ionically bonded, not at all, because the one which are ion form acidic have a covalent bond. So C is the correct answer. Okay. Now question number 22. Which statement about hydrochloric acid is correct? Hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium carbonate to form three different products. Yes, acid and carbonate reacts to form acid, salt, water, and carbon dioxide. Yes, it's correct. Why? Because it's an acidic solution, Shayan. So acidic solution conducts electricity. Yes, Ammar and Shayan. You don't know that acids are electrolyte, isn't it? When they dissolve in water, they produce ions. So when there are hydrogen ions, so it means they conduct electricity. Is this clear? Okay, so this can be a correct one. Hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium to form magnesium chloride and water. No, not water. It forms hydrogen. So B goes wrong. When hydrochloric acid is added to a colorless solution of thermoethylene, it turns blue. No, I think it stays, no. Yeah, it stays colorless. In thermoethylene turns show blue when uh, in an alkali. So C goes wrong. When hydrochloric acid is formed with the ammonium chloride, ammonia is formed. No, ammonia is formed when ammonium chloride or any ammonium salt is heated with the base, not with the acid. So D goes wrong as well. So A is the correct answer. Now question number 23. The addition of calcium hydroxide to soil reduces its acidity, but also reduces the efficiency of fertilizer. Yeah, because it liberates the ammonia from the ammonium ion because it's a base, it's an alkali, right? Right. Which two equations explain this? So reducing the acidity of soil, it means reacting with an acid. So here it is reacting with an acid. So this is the one, and reduces the efficiency. So reduces its acidity is shown by equation 2, and reduces the efficiency is shown by equation 3, where see this is a fertilizer in which ammonia is liberated as a gas. So nitrogen content is removed. So 2 and 3 are the correct statement. 2 is for the equation 2 is to show this reduction in the acidity of soil, and this equation 3 shows the reduction in the efficiency of the fertilizer. So if you see A, B, and D, all three are wrong and C is the correct one. Okay. Now question number 24. Which anions are contained in salts? They are always soluble in water. So it's simple. All nitrates, right? So all nitrates, nitrate is a negative ion. They are asking about the negative ion, right? Anions, negative ions. So nitrate is only the negative ion which has all the salts water soluble. Okay. Now question number 25. The element phosphorus is immediately below nitrogen in the periodic table. Yes, in group 5, there is a nitrogen, the first element, and then we have a phosphorus. It forms oxide with the empirical formula p2O5. From the position of the phosphorus in the periodic table, the element X is expected to okay, what is element X? Okay, so see here, it's a covalent one, and the other element is a non-metal. So element X is to be a non-metal, and bonds in its oxide to be a covalent. So A, B, and D goes wrong, and C is your correct answer. Yes, good. Now question number 26, which statement is correct? Group 1 elements are less reactive than group 2. No, completely wrong statement. Group 1 are more reactive. Group 1 elements are stored under oil to avoid reaction with oxygen and water in the air. Yes, that is the possible correct answer, but we have to confirm that rest are correct or rest are wrong or not. Group 1 elements become more reactive as group is descended because the number of outer shell increases. As we move down the group, what does mean by descended? In group 1, when we move down the group, yeah, so descended means I think from bottom to up. No, so it goes wrong. The melting point of group 1 element decreases as is descended because there is more attraction between positive and no, the attraction would decrease. If it increase, then how would it be? It the the melting point. Decreases. If the melting point is decreases, it means that the attraction would decreases as well. So B is the correct answer. Yes, very good, Zainab. Now, and Yusuf. Question number 27. The table shows some properties of a transition element and reasons why they have these properties. Which row shows a correct property and the reason why transition elements show this property? Okay. Iron has two common oxidation states. No, completely wrong. It's 2 and 3. So A goes wrong. Nickel can be used as a catalyst. Yes, it is. The use of a nickel raises the activation energy. No, it not raises, it lowers the activation energy. So B goes wrong. The reaction of aqueous sodium hydroxide with the salt of transition element can use to identify the element. Yes. Transition metal hydroxides are often colored. Yes, this can be also a correct. Yes, Amar, it seems to be correct. Transition metals have a high melting point, right? The presence of a varying number of electrons in the sea of delocalized electrons weakens the metallic lattice. No, it increases the metallic lattice. It strengthens the electron. So D goes wrong. Yes, C is the correct answer. Okay. Now question number 28. Which equation is correct? Cu and O2, CuO. So if you see, the equation is not correctly balanced either. So A goes wrong. Magnesium metal with the sulfuric acid forms, yeah, it seems correct. Sodium with the water, sodium hydroxide is formed, not sodium oxide is formed. Zinc with nitric acid, zinc nitrate, formula of zinc nitrate is wrong. So D goes wrong. So B is left. So B is the correct answer. Over here, the formula would be NaOH, and over here, the formula of a zinc nitrate would be ZnNO3 twice. Okay. Now question number 29. Metal X reacts with cold water to form a gas. Okay. Zinc displaces metal Y from solution of its salt. The carbonate of metal Z is insoluble. Okay. So there are three metals, X, Y, and Z. X reacts with the cold water, so X is most reactive. Zinc displaces metal Y, so it means zinc is at top and metal Y is below. Okay. And what could be the identity of X, Y, and Z? So yeah, X is reacting with the cold water, so it means X can be an sodium, not copper. Y is below zinc, so C goes wrong. If Y is below zinc, so Y cannot be a magnesium, Y can be a copper. Okay, and then Z has a carbonate insoluble, so sodium has a soluble carbonate because all group 1 compounds are soluble, so D goes wrong as well. So we are left with B option only, so B is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Yes, if any one of you has any confusion, please ask. Question number 30. Which statement about alloys is correct? They are compounds, not they are not compounds. They are a mixture of a metals with other metals or non-metals. Yes, this is correct. They conduct electricity because they have no not ionic bond. They have identical physical properties to the metal. No, not at all. So B is the correct answer. Now question number 31. A piece of magnesium can be attached to a steel hull of a ship to prevent rusting. Yeah, it's a sacrificial protection. Which statement about the sacrificial protection are correct? Iron atoms gain electron and form hydrated iron 3 oxide. No, if they are gaining electron, they can't form iron 3 oxides. 3 means it's +3, so it loses electron. So 1 is wrong. So if you see 1 is wrong, so it makes A and B goes wrong. Magnesium atom gain electrons to form magnesium. Not at all. Magnesium atom loses electron to form magnesium ion, right? So 2 goes wrong, which makes C wrong as well. So we are left with only option D. So D is the correct answer. Now, question number 32. Why is carbon used in water purification? Because carbon is used to remove tastes and odors. So A, B, and C goes wrong. And D is the correct answer. Now 33. Which statement about air pollutant is correct? Catalytic converter in vehicle changes the toxic gases into non-toxic gas. Yes, this can be a possibility because carbon dioxide and nitrogen is formed. Flue gas desulfurization uses calcium nitrate. No, it uses calcium, not calcium nitrate. Photosynthesis is a process that releases carbon dioxide. No, it releases oxygen, right? Sulfur dioxide is responsible for photochemical smog. Not at all. Nitrogen oxides are responsible for that. So 33A. See, remember, if you think that A option is correct, remember, do assure that rest ones are incorrect, then mark the correct one, because sometimes there are some options which seems like that they are correct. So first assure which ones are incorrect. So I always suggest everyone first go for the incorrect ones, not just try to find the correct one first. Always find the wrong ones first. You will be going to end on the correct one at the end. Okay. What is the structural formula of propyl methanoate? So propyl, CH3, CH2, CH2, propyl, 3 carbons. Methanoate means 1 carbon. So O, C double bond O, H, or it can be drawn like this, methanoate, methanoic acid. Just remove the H from the O, the rest is methanoate, and then propyl CH2, CH2, CH3. So let's find which structure is this. If you see, 2 goes wrong, 2 goes wrong. And if you see, it's methyl propanoate, it's not propyl methanoate. So C goes wrong as well. See, this is the correct one. So D is the correct answer. If you see, you can relate these two. Yes, very good, Ahmad Mustafa. Now question number 35. Which statement about ethane is correct? Each ethane molecule contains exactly 7 bonds, all of which are single covalent bond. Yes, it seems correct, because see, ethane is C2H6. So all are single covalent. Ethane is a member of homologous series of alkenes, a family member of unsaturated, not unsaturated. B goes wrong. The equation for the complete combustion of ethane is C2H6, 2CO2, 3H2O. So 2 times 2, 4, 4 plus 3, 7. The balancing is wrong. When a molecule of ethane reacts with a chlorine, one hydrogen atom is replaced by a chlorine molecule. No, not chlorine molecule, chlorine atom. So D goes wrong as well. Yeah, A is our correct answer. Okay. Now question number 36. Isoprene is an alkene which is commonly found in plant. Which properties does isoprene have? It burns in air. Yes, it's an alkene. It can form polymer. Yeah, it's an alkene. It can form polymer. It decolorizes. Yeah, it can do all these. So means B, C, and D goes wrong, and A is the correct answer. 37. The structure of an ester is shown. If you see, it's a propyl methanoate. No, it's propyl ethanoate. There are 2 carbons. Sorry. Which 2 compounds reacts to form this ester? So see, this comes from alcohol. So it has a 3 carbon. So it means propanol. And it comes from ethanoic acid because it's an ethanoate, 2 carbon atoms, right? So butane one and methanoic acid, ethanol and propanoic acid, propane one all. Yeah, it's a propane one all. And ethanoic acid, propane one all and methanoic acid. No, it's wrong. These 2 are wrong. These 2 are wrong. So C is the correct answer. Now 38. Okay, 25 centimeter cube volume and 1.0 mole per dm cube concentration of sodium hydroxide is titrated to dilute sulfuric acid using a suitable indicator. 25 centimeter cube of sulfuric acid is required to reach the endpoint. What is the concentration of the sulfuric acid and which indicator is used? Okay, so see, let's make an equation for both first. NaOH and sulfuric acid. If I make the equation, when sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid react, sodium sulfate is formed. And you guys, I know, do the mistake while making the formula. So if you make this formula and you try to balance it, you will find the balancing like this. So see, for 2 moles, 1 mole is required. Okay. Okay, for a titration, we always use a methyl indicator. Universal indicator can't be used for a titration. Remember this thing. So it means these 2 goes wrong. Now we are left with A and C. So if you see, for a 2 moles, we need 1 mole of sulfuric acid. So it means the ratio between sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid is 2:1. So if both have a same volume, and if its concentration is 1, so it means sulfuric acid's concentration must be half of it, right? It is going to be 0.5 mole per dm cube. Is this point is understandable or not? Because from the equation we got to know that whatever the moles of sodium hydroxide is, sulfuric acid's moles must be half of them. So if they both have a same volume, then whatever the concentration of sodium hydroxide is used for sulfuric acid, the concentration must be half of it. Is this understandable? Yes, if anyone has any. Okay, so let's make C goes wrong because this concentration given over here is wrong. So A is the correct answer. Otherwise, if there is an issue in this, you can do it. You can convert this into the moles. So you will find the moles of sodium hydroxide. So see, so moles of sodium hydroxide can be found by 1.0 times 20 times 25 and divided by 1000. So it is 0.0, it is going to be 0.025, right? These are the moles. Now, if I take the mole ratio, so if it is going to be 0.025, then it is going to be x, and if I calculate the x is going to be 0.0125. No, we can use thymolphane. We can use a proper indicator which shows the different color in acid and a different color is in base, but not at every pH it shows a different color. That's why we don't use universal indicator. So we got the moles of sulfuric acid. Now the volume is same, so just find the concentration. So the concentration of sulfuric acid could be find 0.0125 divided by 25 over 1000. Can anyone calculate it and tell me that it is going to be 0.5 only? If you will calculate it, you will find this. Okay, so we are done with question number 38. Now, question number 39. The results of paper chromatography experiment are shown. X is an aqueous solution of a salt of group 1 element. Okay. Y is an aqueous solution of a salt of a transition element. Which row is correct? Okay. So X is a group 1 element. So it means that X requires a locating agent, right? So Y does not require a locating agent. So that makes D and D goes wrong. And we know group 1 elements are more soluble. No, Y has a greater value. Y travels a distance greater, so Y has a larger RF value. So A goes wrong as well, and C is the correct answer. Yeah. Yes, they are colorless always. If there is no transition metal along with them. If there is a transition metal along with them, then they must have some color. And if there is no transition metal along with them, then they are always colorless. Okay. Now question number 40. Aqueous sodium hydroxide is used to identify ions present in the aqueous solution of compound Q and R. The results are shown. Colored solution, green precipitates. Okay, so it means it is Fe2 positive or chromium. After addition of a few drops of aqueous sodium hydroxide. Okay. So it can be iron or chromium, right? Now, with our colorless solution before addition, after addition of aqueous sodium hydroxide, gas is given off, so it means it must contains ammonium ion in it. Yeah, because the gas is ammonia, so it means ammonium ion is present. So ammonium. Okay, first we have identified either iron or chromium, so which makes this goes wrong and this goes wrong because this is iron 3 positive, which shows red brown. Now, as we have find ammonium ion is there, so here this carbonate is goes makes it C goes wrong, so we are left with only option A. So option A is the correct one. So here we are done with the paper. The correct answer is D for the last one. I hope you guys understand. If any one of you has any confusion, you can ask me. And tomorrow we will have a class, hopefully at the same time, and we are going to do another paper. So see you everyone in the next class. Take care. Goodbye. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.